5 right plus in, 40 short, 5 left in.
Welcome to Special Stage and to a dusty Wales. We're now 6 rounds into the 2014 REIS BTRDA Rally Championship, which means things get serious. The UK's top rally drivers, cars and teams all vying for the top gravel rally championship in the country. But for now, it's all eyes on the pace notes for all the action right here on Special Stage from the Nicky Grist stages. On to the first stage of the event then, and it will be an early lead for Steve Perez and Paul Spooner, stamping their intentions on things right from the start. However, the focused pair were not alone, and after the opening stage they would share the lead with Dave Weston Jr. and Kirsty Riddick, equal on times at this stage. For Paul Bird and Aled Davies, it will be 6 seconds further back, but they had good reason, this being the pair's first time back on gravel after a spell of asphalt events. So it was going to take a stage or two to get back into the swing of things properly. Alex Allingham and Chris Williams start the day really well. 4th place at this stage, leading the Group N runners, which was of course one of many aims this weekend. Their times, however, actually on par and joint 3rd with Bird. But he would surely have an answer to that in the next stages. Stephen Petch and Ian Windrus didn't have the easiest of tests in the new car on the last round. Conditions though were better this weekend, but sadly the stages were not. They suited the faster, more powerful World Rally cars, but they were managing okay in 5th at the moment. Following a strong result on the Dukeries, it will be 7th place for Jamie Anderson and Chris Brooks in the Evo after stage 1. The pair lying just 2 seconds back from Petch at this stage. And chasing down Allingham and Anderson for the Group N honours were Thomas Norton and Andrew Mort. They were close to Anderson at this stage too, just 1 second separating the pair after stage 1. And despite switching to the B13 class in his Evo, Luke Francis and John Roberts would still be enjoying the friendly rivalry between the Evo crews as they lie in 8th place and just a further 1 second behind Norton. Fellow B13 Evo crew Wayne Sisson and Neil Shanks were getting in on the action too. They lie in 9th place and you guessed it, just 1 second back from Francis at this stage. And rounding out the top 10, as well as breaking the theme by being 4 seconds back, were Roland Llewellyn and Jamie Edwards. The pair would likely pick the pace up going into the next stages. Just outside the top 10 at this stage were Ben Cressy and Mark Swallow, the pair making the 3rd place crew in the B13 class, behind Francis, of course, and Sisson. On we go to a look at the Silver Star, and it probably wouldn't be much of a surprise to see Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis at the top of the results. The pair didn't seem to have any other pace than flat out, and they lead by 10 seconds at the end of the opening stage. Their closest challenge this time coming from the Irish and Welsh pairing of Seamus O'Connell and Elgin Davies in the Mark II. O'Connell's first visit to the championship this year, although no stranger to it in the past. Second place for now, but having a few issues with the intercom. A good result last time out must have given Alan McDowell and Gavin Heseltine a little confidence in the escort, even if it wasn't winning their hearts still. Third place to start this weekend was good and gives a good platform to build on for the rest of the day. For John Ballinger and Mike Wilding, meanwhile, it will be a good but steady start. They end the first stage in 4th place, just 4 seconds behind McDowell for now. Jody Bocott and David Millard make one of their best starts of the season, ending the first stage in 5th place. More importantly, just 2 seconds behind Ballinger. Kit and Tim Lee would be looking for a good result here. In fact, any result, having not had the best of seasons so far. 6th place was theirs for now, and they will be looking to keep it that way. No issues though for Sean Edwards and Gavin Haycock as they end the first stage in 7th. A good start to a very long day ahead for the pair. And after some disappointment already this season, and indeed on this event last year, Tony Williams and Karen Phelps will be looking for a result this weekend. 8th place for now, and although higher would be better, this would do for now. Rex Ireland and Adrian Scanning felt that they probably had a bit more to give and could increase the pace a little more, which would make the rest of the day interesting. 9th overall at this stage, just 2 seconds back from Williams. And for Jake Scannell and Adrian Stevens, it will be a steady start to the day, rounding out the top 10 in Silverstone. A new gearbox in the car was hopefully going to help them this weekend. Outside the top 10 and enjoying some of the class battles were James Hutchings and James Hood. They lie 2nd in the B10 class at this stage. 3rd in that class were Philip Clark and Steve Pugh, 18 seconds back from the class rivals at this stage. David Dobson and Phil Sandham would be 2nd of the H2 class runners this weekend, behind 10th placed Ireland. And after just the first of the day's stages, the N3 class was looking the closest yet, with Simon Dalton and Steve Turvey just coming out on top at this stage of the rally. But as we've mentioned, it was close, with Sasha Kakad and Andrew Price lying 2nd in that class, and the pair just 1 second behind Dalton at this stage in a similar car. And if you thought that was close, Tony Simpson and Ian Bevan make it 3rd in the class, but they end the first stage with an identical time to Kakad, putting them dead level going into the next stages. And it's a change to a different car once again for Barry Jordan and James Grattan-Smith, hopefully bringing them a bit more luck. For now, it's the lead of the H1 class in the Avenger. So at the end of the opening stage, here's a reminder of the top of the results here at the Nicky Grist stages. Back we go to the Gold Star then, and it would all be changed at the top. Having held the joint lead after the first stage, Dave Weston Jr. and Kirsty Riddick make that their own at the end of stage 4. It wasn't a big lead, just 5 seconds, but it was enough at this stage. No change to second. Paul Bird and Alan Davies move up the order into that place. And although not managing to keep Weston at bay at this stage, the pair were keeping the rest behind them. Paul, Mr. Perez challenged you to come out and finish this season with him. You're doing just that. How's the fight?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're up on Steve, so I think he maybe nipped me on the first stage, but it took a bit of time to it took me the first stage to get back onto gravel after doing a bit of tarmac stuff, so good, bit dusty, but enjoying it.
For Steve Perez and Paul Spooner, it would be intercom problems followed by a heavy impact on the bridge in the stage, all adding up to the Focus pair lying in third at this stage. It was still close though, 6 seconds behind Bird and only 11 off the lead.
On Kane left 2 over crest and narrow bump bridge, flat over crest 150, right 6 in over crest 150 at middle, turn square right, into right 8, hairpin left opens.
Steve, I saw on Twitter that you passed your racing driver test.
Yes, I'm now a racing driver.
But for now, it's back to the forest. How's it going?
Yeah. Okay, we had a problem on the first 2 stages with the intercom, and then we hit the big dip, like I think Birdie did as well, and we smacked all the sump. We've damaged the chassis quite a bit. There's a big hole in the bulkhead there, so I don't think it's affecting the handling, but we're just pressing on.
There wasn't really much change for Stephen Petch and Ian Windress. If anything, these next few stages were showing the weakness in the car compared to the older WRCs. But until everyone buys a new generation car, they would have to struggle on as best they could. Stephen, I know you were excited coming into this rally. How's the new car?
I'm losing the battle to the power cars at the minute, to be honest. It's I'm trying as hard as I can, but you're just missing that grunt, to be honest.
Missing that focus.
I'm trying. At that last stage, I've had a half spin. I'm just trying too hard to try and get the speed up, but we try, can't we? That's the thing.
You certainly look like you're trying, which is great for us.
Yeah, as long as it looks all right, that was a plus.
Good luck for the rest of the day.
Cheers, thank you.
For Alex Allingham and Chris Williams, it would be 5th place now. The pair was still leading the Group N battle at this stage, a 9-second lead in that class now. Alex, I had the pleasure of watching you through stage 1. You were on it in there. You were on the pace, aren't you?
We're trying our best, yeah. With the Nicky Grist challenge thing, we thought we'd give it our best shot.
It's a really good idea, that.
It is a good idea, and obviously people would push to the maximum, but a couple of our competitors have fell off, Luke Francis and Tom Norton. But we're still pushing on the best we can and trying to enjoy it.
Yeah, I know you like these stages, don't you?
I do like these stages, yeah, they're good.
Jamie Anderson and Chris Brooks would remain second in the Group N class. They were doing their best to chase down Allingham, but for now there wouldn't be any change. Jamie, you look like you're working hard in here.
Yeah, we are. We've had a good comeback, and Alex is pushing hard, so we're trying to keep on the tail of him. It's quite rough, but we're getting there. We're having fun. That's the main thing, isn't it?
He's chasing after this Nicky Grist challenge. Are you looking at championship points?
Looking at the both, really. I wouldn't mind winning that as well. So looking at both perspectives.
Do you like these stages?
Yeah, they're good. They're fast. They're flowing. So that's the way we want them.
Well, you made a return on your home event last time out, and it went quite well. So the confidence must be high too.
Yeah, it is. Its confidence is good at the minute. Obviously, Chris is in with me this year, so we're getting there and we're getting it together, and hopefully we can get a bit quicker as long as we go.
The Group N battle was about to become a lot smaller in these stages, though, as a number of crews fall victim to a bad compression in the Route 60 stage, retiring on the spot. Luke Francis and John Roberts, while in the B13 class, not N4, would be one of the first. The bridge causing a lot of damage to the front of the car. The by now notorious bridge also claims Tom Norton and Andrew Mort as they stop in the same place as Francis. And they were not the only ones. Championship leaders Russ Thompson and Andrew Murphy would also have troubles. And although they managed to pass Francis and Norton, they wouldn't make it much further.
Few of them. Yeah, keep going. Keep going, okay? Come square right into hairpin left.
So the Group N, and indeed the whole top 10, had now taken a big shake-up. And it meant that for Roland Llewellyn and Jamie Edwards, it would be 7th place now. They go into service in a good overall position. Roland, I can't decide if that's a considered or a frustrated face.
No, a bit of dust in a couple of stages.
Oh, it's a dusty face.
But, yeah, dusty face. But yeah, it's going well.
Happy with the pace?
Yeah, the pace is getting better now, so yep.
Getting better. That bodes well for the fact that we've got 4 more stages left.
Yeah, we'll have a go this afternoon now and see how we get on.
Big chance now as well for Tristan Bailey and James Howe to move up the results and start to enjoy some times inside the top 10 leaderboard. They go into service in 8th place in the Evo WRC. Tristan, it's always good to see this Mitsubishi out. How's it from inside the car?
Yeah, superb. Yeah, a little dusty as it is for everyone, but yeah, absolutely superb. Really quick stages, loving it. But yeah, no, it's going well. It's going well.
Quick stages, are you driving them quickly?
We're trying our best. We're trying our best. It's hanging on tight at the moment, but yeah, we're trying our best out there.
Keep hanging on tight and we'll see you later.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Surprisingly, with all the drama going on around them, Wayne Sisson and Neil Shanks would end this morning's stages in the same place they started them, 9th overall, and now leading the way in the B13 class, of course, after the loss of Francis.
It's good, yeah, having a good day. Car feels really good, and I think we're somewhere near, so yeah, I'm really happy.
What's the plan for the rest of the day? Just keep it on the dusty stuff?
Yeah, just keep pushing really, just keep going as we are. I'm in a safe, kind of comfortable sort of pace, so just keep going at that.
And following a steady start, Ben Cressy and Mark Swallow managed to move the right way up the leaderboard to round out our top 10 now. Obviously things going better than last time out when they put the car on its roof. Good.
Yeah, we're happy enough. I don't know where we are. I don't know what we're doing in terms of time, but it's definitely a test of skill.
And the most important thing, the wooden knobs are still okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've still got a pair of knobs in the car.
Following behind Cressy and hot on his heels will be Martin and Dawn England. The pair just behind in the overall and the class standings as they lie in 11th overall and 3rd in the B13 class. Martin, can you see where you're going?
Yeah, we could, because we made a mistake and we had a bit of a gap with Chris in front there.
Everything okay?
Yeah, going all right. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of cars off. We're just trying to keep it going as fast as we can, but keep on the road, obviously.
One of those days where consistency could win out.
Absolutely right. I don't think we'll be winning though, but we're going quite well. I'm quite happy with it today.
Unfortunately, we'd lose a couple more crews. The first of which being Simon Rogers and Andrew Sankey as they retire with electrical problems on the Evo. And we'd also lose James Ford and Michael Gilby as the pair stop in stage 3 in the Subaru. Onto the Silver Star then, and there wouldn't be any change in the lead, as we'd expect. Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis keeping the pace up and staying ahead of the rest of the field with a 47-second advantage now. Matthew, I know your fight's for the Silver Star, but you're also up there in the Gold Star this season. It's going well, isn't it?
Yeah, not so bad. Yeah, we're just trying to keep a mad Irishman at bay today. Or a couple of them, sorry, that have got following us. We haven't really looked at any results yet, but yeah, no, we're getting that.
Sounds like the perfect job for a mad Yorkshireman.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, I don't think the gap's as big today. The stages are really grippy, you know, and yeah, no, we're getting on. We just had a little bit of intercom problem in there, and I couldn't hear him. I don't know whether that was worse or better, really, but Yeah, we went all right anyway, so yeah, we're happy.
Good luck for the rest of the day, lads.
Thank you.
Seamus O'Connell and Elgin Davies were trying their best to chase Robinson down, but unfortunately it would be difficult. The tyres were just not lasting. They roll out of stage 4 with a puncture on the Escort. Seamus, great to see you out there today. How's it going?
It's going bad. Intercom problems and tyres. We need to be changing tyres midway through the stage there. But
get him to shout louder.
Possible. I'm trying that. I'm firing water into him. It's doing no good.
Great action though. Good to see you out. We'll see you later.
Bye bye.
The battle for the top spot was getting a little bigger, but the fight for second wasn't. Alan McDowell and Gavin Heseltine were getting close to O'Connell and going to service 2 seconds behind. Alan, what a day out there in the dust, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty fast. It's good. I'm enjoying it for the first time, I think, in an Escort. So yeah.
You've struggled to get the rhythm in this car, haven't you?
A wee bit, aye.
Fantastic result last time out, though.
Well, aye.
So the results are starting to come. The confidence is starting to come. Are you going to adopt this car over the Opel?
Oh, it's not going to go anywhere. But the Opel is definitely coming back as a 2.5. Trust me.
For Jody Bocott and David Millard, it will be a move in the right direction. They moved into 4th. A good result so far, considering the pair had a puncture on stage 2. Jody, how are you doing out there?
Yeah, we're liking these stages. They're abrasive though. We've gone through 4 tyres already, so it's going to be another 4 tyres for this afternoon, I think.
It's one of those days where you do need your racing helmet just to keep the dust out.
No, I've gone back to the open face because I'm having difficulty listening to Dave, so gone back to the open face to see if it makes any difference because it's got the intercom. So.
Are you happy with how things have gone apart from the problem?
Yeah, we've had a puncture on Route 60, but apart from that, yeah, it's good.
Excellent. Well, good luck this afternoon. I think the dust may just settle with that rain that's coming.
Yeah, well, we're hoping for rain because we've got some medium compound tyres to try, so we'll try it.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Problems would be plaguing Kit and Tim Lee's rally, but luckily for them, it was all happening between or after the stages. This meant that although running down the order, the pair end the morning in 5th place. Jake Scannell and Adrian Stevens were still getting used to the new gearbox in the car. Geared a little wrong, it wasn't helping the pair, but they make it to the end of the stage in 6th place, an improvement on their stage 1 time. Well, we can hear this thing coming a mile off. How is it in there?
Yeah, it's really good. Really enjoying the stages. They're absolutely brilliant. Yeah, we got a new gearbox today, and we're just trying that. We got a few little issues with the ratios, but yeah, no, it's going well. Loving it.
It's a good day to be testing new equipment because it's one of those where you could just hang in there, couldn't you, without pushing?
Right. Yeah, there's a few have dropped on the side of the road as we're driving by, so we're just keeping going. Really, just get a finish today.
We'll hope to see you there.
Lovely. Thanks a lot.
There wouldn't be any change in the overall positions for Sean Edwards and Gavin Haycock. They remain in 7th. It was going well, even if they could do with some harder compound tyres. Sasha Kakad and Andrew Price, meanwhile, were going well over the rest of the morning stages. They make a big jump up the results now to take up 8th position and remain in the lead of the Fiestas in the N3 class battle. And for Barry Jordan and James Grattan Smith, it would also be a step up the results, which was especially pleasing as the pair often suffer problems before the midpoint of the rally. They lie in 9th now. Simon Dalton and Steve Turvey would be 2nd of the N3 class runners behind Kakad. They have 18 seconds to find though in the afternoon stages if they want to take the class lead, which of course they do. But for now, it will be 10th overall. Problems in these stages for John Ballinger and Mike Wilding mean that they drop outside the top 10 and into 11th on the leaderboard. They remain in the B11 battle though, with 3rd in the class for now. Tony Simpson and Ian Bevan remain 3rd in the N3 class. The pair a little behind the pace of the class rivals ahead, 15 seconds to be exact, so it wasn't out of reach just yet. Rex Ireland and Adrian Scadding would still be leading the H2 class, despite a puncture in stage 3 and hitting the bridge as well in stage 2, but they were still going strong. And for David Dobson and Phil Sandham, it would be 2nd in the H2 class. The pair were actually on dead level times with Ireland, and indeed with Ballinger up ahead. In the B10 class, it would still be 2nd place for James Hutchings and James Hood. Of course, the lead belonging to Kit Lee still at this stage. And it will be Philip Clark and Steve Pugh remaining 3rd in the class. 32 seconds now the deficit in that position. And unfortunately, we lose Jeff Cottrell and Nathan Crew in this loop of stages. They go off into a ditch on stage 3. So, at the midway point here at the Nicky Grist stages, here's a reminder of the overall leaderboard. On to the afternoon stages then, and a second pass at the Monument stage. And it would still be Dave Weston Jr. and Kirsty Riddick leading the way, but the gap was getting smaller as the chasing crews tried to claw back some time. The positions wouldn't change too much though, and it would still be 2nd for Paul Bird and Aled Davies. But now they had closed the gap to the leaders to just 1 second. As close as always then in the BTRDA. Steve Perez and Paul Spooner remain in 3rd. Unable to get any time back on Bird, they remain 6 seconds behind their focused rivals, but still very much in the fight at the top. Stephen Petch and Ian Windress meanwhile remain in 4th. No problems other than just having to try hard to keep up with the faster World Rally cars. They lose a few seconds but nothing major, and they lie just 19 seconds down on Perez now. Things still going well for Alex Allingham here. Chris Williams. They still lead the N4 class after the afternoon's opening stage. They were managing to keep everyone else at bay for now, with a 12-second lead in the class. Allingham's closest rival though would still be Jamie Anderson and Chris Brooks, the pair settling back into the pace at the front of the BTRDA again this season as they end stage 5 in 6th place, 2nd in the N4 class. The only position change in the top 10 at this stage would be the move into 7th for Tristan Bailey and James Howe in that Mitsubishi. They go from 3 seconds behind to 5 seconds in front, which was a good advance, you have to say, in one stage. That move up the result for Bailey, of course, means a move down for Roland Llewellyn and Jamie Edwards, but it wasn't by much. They would still be fighting for places going into the day's remaining 3 stages. No change in 9th for Wayne Sisson and Neil Shanks. They hold on to that place after a steady run. Things seem to be going well for the pair, and with only 3 seconds to Llewellyn, it certainly wasn't over yet. And still rounding out the top 10 would be Ben Cressy and Mark Swallow. The pair keeping the pace to a sensible level, and keeping things the right way up as well this time to keep hold of 2nd in the B13 class behind Sisson. And 3rd in that B13 class would be Martin and Dawn England. The pair still going strong and lying 28 seconds behind Cressy at this stage. No change for Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis. They still lead, and they still look like having a good steady run on the afternoon stages. Steady? Who are we kidding? It was looking good for maximum points, certainly, here at round 6. With some new tyres and no punctures this time, it would be a good steady run for Seamus O'Connell and Elgin Davies too on stage 5. But although they manage a good pace, they do lose 2 seconds to Robinson up ahead. It would be a similar story for Alan McDowell and Gavin Heseltine. They lose a couple of seconds to O'Connell in this stage, but it wasn't anything major. They come out of stage 5 with 8 seconds to find in the next 3 stages. No change in 4th place for Jody Bocott and David Millard, and like the rest of the Silver Star, it seems they would lose a few seconds to the car in front. 11 seconds turning into 18 seconds now, but at least their place is safe for one more stage. Kit and Tim Lee seem to be coping well with the problems they'd had all morning, and they remain in 5th. It was looking good for the pair, who haven't had the best of seasons so far this year, it has to be said. Jake Scannell and Adrian Stevens, meanwhile, would come out of this stage 9 seconds worse off. But that was in part down to some increased pace from Lee, not necessarily a slowing pace from the Mazda. They do, however, remain in 6th place. All Sean Edwards and Gavin Haycock could manage in this loop was a single second taken back. They remain in 7th and move to within 15 seconds of Scannell, but 1 second a stage wasn't going to do them any good with only 3 stages remaining. Sasha Kakad and Andrew Price continued their good run and keep hold of the N3 class lead in the Fiesta. They also remain in 8th overall, but with 34 seconds to Edwards ahead, the overall position probably wasn't going to change. John Ballinger and Mike Wilding start to work their way back up the results a little with a move into 9th place. But all the overall places around them were close, so nothing was set in stone just yet. And for Tony Williams and Karen Phelps, it will be 10th at this stage. A good move the right way up the results for them too, as they gain a few places in this stage. Sadly for Rex Ireland and Adrian Scadding, there wouldn't really be any overall gain in this stage, but they do remain in the lead of the H2 class, which would be a good result to take away from this weekend if they could hold on to it. But they did have the small matter of David Dobson and Phil Sandon to contend with and to stop them from doing just that. They do drop a small amount of time though, these two. The gap now at 2 seconds, but it was going to be close on the remaining stages of the rally in the H2 class. And indeed a similar story in H1, as Barry Jordan and James Grattan Smith separate the 2 H2 class runners with 1 second either side of them as they hold the H1 class in the Avenger. Simon Dalton and Steve Turvey have nothing to report for this stage as they remain in 2nd place in the N3 class. The times were up to 22 seconds of a deficit from the class leader Kakad now. And for Tony Simpson and Ian Bevan, there would be no change. Still 3rd in the class and still 15 seconds behind 2nd at this stage. Things would change in the B10 class though. We lose James Hutchings and James Hood when the gearbox mount fails on the Nova in this stage. A retirement that means it's a step up to 2nd in the B10 class for Philip Clark and Steve Pugh now. A welcomed move as well for the pair. And of course that leaves 3rd in the class open. And stepping in to take that place at the end of the stage with Brad Axon and Linda Thomas in that Corolla. On to the remaining stages then, and the final results. Unfortunately for Kit and Tim Lee, it would be a massive blow as they drop down the order after stalling twice in the final stage, unable to start again for a number of minutes. They end the event in 15th and 3rd in the B10 class. So after a move up into that B10 class after service, it would now be a move to 2nd in the class for Brad Axon and Linda Thomas, a result they probably didn't expect this morning. And even more unexpected for Nathan O'Connor and Jessica Rogan, they stormed the results in the final stages to take the B10 class win and 13th overall in the Citroen C2. No change in the N3 class as Tony Simpson and Ian Bevan get to the end of the event with 3rd in the class, netting themselves 12th on the leaderboard in the process. Simon Dalton and Steve Turvey meanwhile maintain their 2nd place and managed to hold off the advance of Simpson by just 6 seconds. As well as 2nd in the class, they also take 11th in the rally. For Barry Jordan and James Grattan-Smith, it will be a top 10 finish as they round off the Silver Star top 10 in the Avenger, certainly having more luck in this car than others so far this season. The loss of Rex Ireland means that it's a class victory this weekend for David Dobson and Phil Sandham. The pair were close all day, but take the victory in the H2 class in the final stages. It will be a very welcome finish to the event for Tony Williams and Karen Phelps. It wasn't without problems, but the pair get through them all and record the first finish of their season. Certainly reason for celebration. Sasha Kakad and Andrew Price have a good run all day to take the N3 class win. A good pace ahead of the other Fiestas that make up the class, and some good points to take away from the weekend for the class, and of course for 7th overall. And it would be a great recovery drive for John Ballinger and Mike Wilder. Some good damage limitation. They managed to climb their way back up the results, getting themselves as far as 6th by the end of the event. A result which also sees the pair take the B11 class trophy home. Jake Scannell and Adrian Stevens take advantage of the retirements and changes to move up to 5th place now. It was a great result for the pair in the Mazda and one of their best to date. Unfortunately, a good run comes to an end for Jody Bocott and David Millard. They retire in stage 7 when they pull a wheel off on a cattle grid. That does mean it's a move up into 4th for Sean Edwards and Gavin Haycock. A result they could only have wished for at the start of the day, but consistency and some good stage times means it's a fantastic finish for the pair. Following on from a good result last time out, it's a 3rd place finish this weekend for Alan McDowell and Gavin Heseltine. The Escort still wasn't the favourite, but it was proving to be up to the job and doing the pair well this weekend. On his 2014 debut in the championship, it will be 2nd for Seamus O'Connell and Elgin Davies. The pair didn't manage to catch Robinson, but then how many could? They finished just over a minute behind our leaders. So on to the leaders then. And that means it's a victory for Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis this weekend. A victory that means they take the Silver Star Championship for 2014. And for Matthew, it's a record 3rd year in succession. A feat which has never been done before. So at the end of the event is a reminder of the Silver Star results. Well, with 3 rounds left to go of the BTRDA Silver Star Championship, we didn't expect to be saying this, but I'm not surprised that we are. Well done, guys. Looks like you're going to be champions this year.
We behaved ourselves early on, haven't we, Paul? That's six.
One way of looking at it.
Yeah, I reckon so. 6 finishes and all on the trot, and I must have turned over a new leaf, don't you think?
Well, I think it might be something to do with this man here. Sam, have you been reining him in a bit? No, he's been faster than ever.
Yeah, we have reined him in at odd place, but yeah, no, we've had a good season to be fair so far. We're really pleased with it, but obviously we're stood here now as champions with a nice straight car, but there's 3 men who ride round all over the country following us round. Gravy, Grum and Badass, they're at every rally. They're at Matthews all week long, getting car ready with Matthew himself, and no, 10 out of 10 to them boys because they're there every time we need them, so spot on.
Well done, Gravy, Grumman, Badass. Now, you did finish the season last year together, but obviously Sam wasn't your champion, was it, last year? But this year you've both done it together.
Yeah, it's a team effort this year, and like Sam just said, to be fair, Paul, as well, without the boys spanner in the car on the night and helping us on a weekend here, we wouldn't be able to come and have the fun as well. So they're a massive part of it as well. So we are really grateful to them. Yeah.
Well, we don't often give a championship roundup and award places with 3 events to go, but Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis have twisted our arm on that one, because you know what? They've won the championship with 3 rounds to go. The Silver Star is theirs. But that doesn't mean that the excitement is over. More to come, probably from the guys that you see on the podium behind me. Next up, it's the Gold Star on special stage. So with the Silver Star Championship celebrations well underway, it's on to the Gold Star results. And for Tony Carinanti and Martin Oscarin, it will be 3rd in the N4 class at the end of the rally as they finish in 11th. Rounding out our top 10 would be Ben Cressy and Mark Swallow, the pair clearly trying right to the finish. And with that effort, they managed to take 3rd in the B13 class. For Martin and Dawn England, it will be a great result. They finish inside the top 10 in 9th. The pair just about pip Cressy to the class battle as they finish 8 seconds ahead in 2nd place in the B13 class. Roland Llewellyn and Jamie Edwards have had a steady and consistent run. It does see them remain in 8th place at the finish, also sees them netting themselves 2nd in the N4 class. And for Wayne Sisson and Neil Shanks, it will be some last-minute pace, seeing them move up the results into 7th. The pair walk away with the B13 class victory this weekend by almost 2 minutes. And it would also be a move up to 6th for Tristan Bailey and James Howe in that brutal Mitsubishi. A great result for the pair, who was still getting back into things after only returning to the championship on our previous round. Unfortunately for the Group N battle, we would lose Alex Allingham and Chris Williams in Stage 7 when they suffered damage to the wheel, forcing them to pull over. And with the wheels not pointing in the right direction, it wasn't going to be possible to finish this weekend. This means, though, that for Jamie Anderson and Chris Brooks, it will be another fantastic result. Not the podium they'd managed on the previous round, but 5th place and leading Group N was a great finish for the pair this weekend. Sadly for Stephen Petch and Ian Windrus, it will be just outside the podium for them in 4th place. They hadn't had much seat time in the new car, it has to be said, and this weekend was certainly testing for them. They do come away with 4th place, missing out on the podium by 25 seconds. But taking the final step on that podium were last round winners Steve Perez and Paul Spooner. Small problems through the day didn't help the overall times, but they finished just 16 seconds back in that 3rd place after a good battle all day long. Unfortunately for Dave Weston Jr. and Kirsty Riddick, it would be 2nd place at the end of a hard-fought event. The pair had held the rally lead for a lot of the day, as indeed they had at some point for the last few events, but it was taken in the final stages and they would have to settle for runner-up once again. So that means it's the win for Paul Bird and Alid Davies. And it would be close, just 3 seconds between them at the final control. That win still only means 7th for Bird in the championship standings, but with a few more rounds to go, it wasn't over yet by a long shot. So Bird throwing down the gauntlet here at the Nicky Grist stages. At the end of the rally, here's a reminder of the final results. Paul, Alid, that's the way to do it on the Nicky Grist stages, especially with 3 rounds left to go.
That's probably what happens when you've got a Wells co-driver as well, so there's 2 in the car, so team efforts. Yeah. Good job. beat Steve, which makes it even sweeter.
After that challenge he set you as well.
Yeah, but he's getting older, isn't he? And he had an advantage of running first on the road, so I feel like I smoked about 1,000 fags today, so yeah, it was tough.
With dust in the car. Better clarify that.
A lot, but Dave was only one in front of me, so he had that problem as well. So it's been a good battle today, a real battle. He drove really well, so yeah, it's been a hard day. Pressure on before we went to the last stage, but we just gave it everything we could.
Amazing car, amazing stages. What has it been like in there today?
Absolutely fantastic. It's we haven't seen lots of times. The dust has been absolutely unbelievable. There's a lot on the road, but I think if you look at me, there's more in the car than's left in that forest. But we had a fantastic day. He's put a foot wrong all day.
Dave, Kirsty, what a day here in Wales. Happy?
It's been a good day. It's been a good battle between everyone, really. We've got a good enough result, but would have been happier with first. Hey ho.
We saw you throwing this car around, Kirsty. Was it a good ride today in this car? It looked pretty exciting from the outside.
Yeah, he drove really well, a lot better. I don't know what's happened, but since the Duke Cruise, the car's better, we're all better, so we're getting there.
And the dust didn't bother you as much as it bothered me stood outside?
No, we was all right today. We was catching bits of dust here and there, but we was all right in the car.
Steve, Paul, with 3 rounds left to go, it's all about the championship points, and this is a good way to pick them up. 3rd place at the Nicky Grist.
Yeah, it'd been better if we'd picked up maximum points, of course. We lost a lot of time on the second stage, Route 66. We hit a big dip, and it's damaged all the front suspension and damaged the car quite badly, actually. He was going to have to go on a jig to get fixed. So the car hasn't been handling as well as it has done in the past, so that slowed me up. But fair play to Birdie. Yeah, he's been on it, him and Dave Weston. Yeah, they've done really well. So, like you say, it's good championship points.
The REIS BTRDA Rally Championship is, without doubt, the top gravel rally championship in the country. So it stands to reason that the 3 men behind me, or the 6 people you see behind me, are the top 3 crews in the country right now. But there are a lot of good crews that didn't make it to the podium this weekend, who'll all be trying very hard next time out at the Woodpecker. 3 more rounds to go in this exciting championship. It might go down to the wire like it did last year. We're hoping for that. I know you are too. But all the action, whatever happens, will be right here on Special Stage. Thanks for watching the Nicky Grist stages.